reflections that lie there in that old curiosity shop.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Scott from the Old Curiosity Shop, welcoming you back to a kitchen counter thrift haul. I've got a lot of stuff to talk about, so rather than fiddle with coffee today or a flyby with music, I'm just going to jump in and start describing these items. Wow, right in the center. Who wouldn't like to sit down to a wonderful buffet or maybe a fondue dinner and then have dessert brought out in this thing? It's 1960s, made by a California pottery company, Hoenig, Hoenig of California. There it is. Now, the Lazy Susan base, of course, is not real wood. It's some composite type stuff that it's not cardboard, but it's got one of those fake wood grain finishes. And you can see that some of the fake wood grain has chipped off of there. This piece may or may not take stain. I didn't try it. I'm going to let the person who wins the item decide what they want to do about that. But you can see it spins as it should. It's 14 inches. I am thrilled to say that none of the leaf dishes have any chips. Amazing with these little points right here. But all four of these are perfect. The lid is perfect. We do have, oddly, some very light chips around the rim of the little dip container, or whatever you want to put in that, salsa or what have you. So there it is. As I said, 14 inches in diameter. I'm probably going to ship this in a, because this is strong and not really breakable, I can get away with a 14 by 14 box, probably 10 inches tall, to make sure all of that is packed well. And I think this is the only one available on YouTube, on eBay at the moment, that is complete. I have seen people selling bits and pieces of the set, but not a complete one. So here it is. And hopefully we're going to be able to have folks in our homes, right, and get back doing some entertaining. 1960s. Now here in the front, I finally have listed, and I promise I won't ramble on as much as I normally do, because I've talked so many times about the radio bar and radio bar glassware that was manufactured by Philco. Radio bar glass is made by Federal, and it's usually marked with an F on the bottom for Federal. Now, none of these are marked, so again, it could be Thorpe glass, but I've got 4 more of these in the platinum and black bands, which you can see, and these date to the 1930s, and they sell for quite a bit. I was able to sell several of these, a few months ago, and raised, close to about $1,000 for the glass that I sold. So we'll keep our eye on these and see what happens. Here is an inkwell with a lid. Let's see. A glass inkwell. It measures about, 2 by 2.5. Interesting pattern on the lid on the top. I think there's a little tiny rim chip underneath there, but not a big deal. So that's a nice glass piece. And I did forget before to list these Catalonian consolidated glass pieces. If you weren't watching those old videos, you may look at this and say, oh, they just sold that at Home Goods in 1999. No, this dates back to the 20s. It's got uranium in it. They glow beautifully. And this Catalonian glass was to imitate the ancient glass of Spain. Yeah, and so this is actually from the Depression era. It's one of the most unusual Depression glass patterns you'll find. I've shown them to you before, but forgot to list them, so they're listed now. It's a fun pattern to collect. Here's a Hazel Atlas rolled edge mixing bowl, which also glows. And I think everyone is familiar with the Hazel Atlas mark on the bottom of the bowl there. Then in the back we've got lots of Mildred, the Mildred pattern. Made by Mount Clemens, a popular pattern here in the USA in the late 20s and through the 30s. I have a covered casserole in excellent condition, which is being sold as one auction. A cream and sugar and a gravy boat, which I threw all three of those in one auction. And then I've got, I think it's 12 7 1/4 dessert plates, bread and butter plates. Not really big enough to be a lunch or a salad. 7 inches, 7 1/4, I think is what I said. And now none of this is marked except for just USA, and you can barely see that. But this was an inexpensive but a nice pattern that you could buy here in the 20s and 30s. And it turns up, I know I have one subscriber who collects this. It was her I think she said her grandparents' wedding china. I think your name is Trish. Trish, I haven't talked to you in about a year, so I don't know if you're still out there. But if you need any of this, there it is. Here is a wildflower pattern, compote. That's the pattern that we see on this. Elegant depression glass. I try to get you to see these patterns. There we go. Wildflowers, pretty recognizable. Recognizable pattern. You could put cheese on that or what have you. And then back here is a lovely teapot, which is probably, oh, I've got it turned around the wrong way. I want you to see the other side. There's no mark, no maker's mark on it at all. And I feel it dates to the aesthetic movement, mostly popular in England. Thank you, Oscar Wilde and William Morris, among others. Aesthetics. Beauty for the sake of beauty, right? Art for the sake of art. There wasn't supposed to be any moral meaning or compass, which you saw quite often in Victorian themes, but not during the aesthetic movement. It's probably made in Japan. I know I gotta focus. Because of all of this moirage design on it. But with aesthetic design, you'll see just beautiful images, quite often peacock feathers, birds, peacocks themselves, trees, all kinds of, animals and things, and this is all hand done, we can see here. I'm going to take that lid off before I have an accident with it. I'll raise it up here and give you a better look at the beautiful design on it. Now, there are no chips anywhere on this thing, but there is down at the bottom on the base a crack. Do you see that right there, that line? And it extends just a tiny bit on the side. I don't know what this is made out of. I'm going to say porcelain, but I haven't really seen porcelain with this almost grainy, textured bottom to it. I'm trying to get it to where you can... You see that? Almost like burlap. It's not it's not polished at all on the bottom, so that may just be something that I'm not familiar with. Usually see porcelain with a polished bottom, so maybe somebody can explain that to me. But the Japanese moirage decoration there, very nice. And as I said, there aren't any chips on it, and it does hold water. That it's very thick. It's not delicate, thin porcelain. And that little crack down there really doesn't seem to compromise the piece at all. And it's just so beautifully done. So says I. We'll put that back and put the lid on it. What do you guys think? Am I in there? 1880s aesthetic, probably Japan. We have two replacement hurricane lampshades or student lamps. They will fit down in I want to say a 7-inch fitter. You'll have to go, if you're interested in either one, go and look at the dimensions on the auction site, because I don't remember. One in white heavy milk glass and the one on the left in a mustard glass color. So there you have it. Here's a bowl made by Hall. A bowl made by Hall. I don't know why that's hard for me to say. Hall, H-A-L-L. Pretty green color with kind of a little Art Deco design on the side. And I'm having all kinds of focusing and lighting issues today. So it's not showing up like I want it to. Wonderful condition on that piece. And let me swing back over here before we do the stainless steel and the chrome over there. I've got an old photograph for sale. And this is, you know, cabinet cards came like this mounted on this old cardboard. And we'll zoom in on it so that you can see what's going on. We have there's no date on it. Don't know where this photograph was taken. But if we zoom in here, and you might actually, if you go to the auction site, you'll see better pictures. I don't know, I'm not an automobile person, so you guys who are automobile aficionados will have to tell me. I feel like we're somewhere around 1908, 10, 12, something like that, prior to the 1920s. Beautiful car there, and a very snazzy gentleman who is probably the driver. And then as we come over here, we have another gentleman here pushing some type of a cart. Now I don't know what what's. I wouldn't think that would be gasoline, but what do I know? I can't read that sign, but that sign says, it looks almost like Atlantic Refinishing Company automobile gasoline sold here. There's another car with a dapper man and a chauffeur. And we up here, painting and repairing automobiles to hire by the hour, night or day. So this looks like where you could go and just rent a car for a couple of hours. What do you think of that? Well, and at first I didn't see, but I can see now the advertisement for Acme tires. I know a lot of folks are familiar with the Acme from the Bugs Bunny cartoons, and some people who aren't from this area are shocked to find out there's actually a store, really is a store called the Acme, or the Acme, as a lot of people pronounce it around here. It's a large grocery store. So you can see a little bit better the signage on this wonderful old building. And there are some license plates on these cars. That looks like a Ford right there. But I can't get in close enough to actually see if there are dates on the license plates. It's probably, this is somewhere in Pennsylvania would be my guess. So that's up for sale, and I'm hoping a collector of automobiles would like to have that antique automobile memorabilia. Now the last two items in today's haul is a wonderful chrome chafing dish stand with a Pyrex dish in it. This must have been somebody's wedding gift and never used. I don't find them often that are as clean as that. But there it is. It's 1.5 quarts. There's the glass dish on the inside. It fits perfectly. I bought it this way. I don't know if this dish came with it, but that's how I'm selling it. The glass dish, Pyrex, the lid fits. And we see the wonderful sort of, no, not really etching. What am I calling this? The nice design. And here again we see it's very old-fashioned too. They were doing this kind of stuff in the 1920s, but I don't believe this one to be anywhere near as old as that. Certainly that Pyrex dish isn't. So maybe this dates to the 50s. Boy, is it clean. Complete measurements are in the auction listing if you were wondering if you could use another dish in it. And if I give you the measurements now from memory, I'll say the wrong thing. So I don't want to do that. Here is another coffee pot, and once again, shocking the condition. I don't think this one was used, but maybe once or twice, because it is super duper clean. And do you hear a dog barking in the background? I do. and I'm sort of going to just ignore that for the moment because I normally don't hear barking dogs. Glass percolator top, of course. Look at how clean. This was not hardly ever used. You don't find them as clean as this. I think I already said that. Let me pull this out. And this little plastic thing. A little strainer there. I don't know why you need an extra one, but it's there, so that's how it's coming. The cord and everything is great. And what's nice is this one is immersible. This thing actually might date to the early 1980s or late 70s or early 80s. It makes 3 to 9 cups, and we can see here it is a what does it say? It says General Electric immersible, mild to strong. So well-built percolator that will certainly give you lots of coffee satisfaction. And it's nice to find these old ones that are in good condition where you don't have to worry about somebody else's old kitchen dirt on it. Oh, I forgot to put that in there. I'll put that back in later. I'll just back up there and let you see it. Everything that you see here is currently up for auction in the old Curiosity Shop as usual. And the link to the store is can be found in the description box below this video. Thank you everyone for supporting the eBay store and the YouTube channel. I appreciate you. Like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff which I never really remember to say. And have yourselves a whale of a weekend. I'm Scott from the Old Curiosity Shop saying thanks for watching and so long for now.